Master Obi-Wan Kenobi. I regret to report that both our Jedi Order and the Republic have fallen, with the dark shadow of the Empire rising to take their place. This message is a warning and a reminder for any surviving Jedi. Trust in the Force.
They've outgrown their age of rebellion, dulled the Empire's edge, defeated Imperial generals and the Pirate Queen's dredge. They've been soldiers and scoundrels, what's there left to be? How about lost acolytes looking for their force and destiny? There's a seer, hermit, investigator, and teacher. Better watch your back or a vibe or ring's gonna reach you. Will this team find the light or will darkness win the day? Find out with the heroes of the Hydian Way.
Previously on Heroes of the Hydian Way, Koba, Kesh, Hillary, and Skip found themselves entangled with Force and Destiny as they came into possession of an incomplete holocron. With the guidance of the holographic memory of Soljo Ward, the Force set out on a search for 3 missing Kyber crystals that had been entrusted to a companion of the Jedi many years previous. The hunt took them to Arbaween, home of trees large enough to house cities and the clan-conscious Sathari people, where limited landing space left them at the base of a bluff. Now that they've made it to the top, what awaits them there? Find out on this week's episode of Mothers and Merchants.
Welcome to Heroes of the Hydian Way. This is a live play podcast that explores published adventures set in the Fantasy Flight Games Star Wars RPG line. This is Act 1, Episode 1 of Chronicles of the Gatekeeper. And I'm Ben, the GM for this adventure.
Greetings! I'm Skip Goby, the Caloran Seeker Hermit, and this is my companion Gudge, the Sarfrey. We have traveled around for quite some time seeking our place in the galaxy, and I found some really interesting friends. Well, they don't think we're friends yet. Especially the big lizard. She's kinda cranky with me sometimes. But I know we will be really good friends.
Skip, sometime today. I'm Kesh, the Trandoshan Mystic Seer, and I will proudly say that Hillary over here is my friend.
Well, yes, I rather thought I was friends with everybody, but if Skip's not ready for that level of commitment, I suppose that I can step back a bit. But I am Hillary, and I am the consular teacher here. Koba, you're my friend, right?
I'm Koba, the Sentinel investigator, and I normally work alone, but I guess you're fine.
Thank you kindly.
To be clear, I said they don't think we're friends yet. I'm happy to be friends.
Oh, very nice. Then we shall be.
To learn more about our heroes, we get one to ask another a question. And today it is Koba's turn. Bing, bing.
So, Skip?
Yeah?
What's the story with your little, Gudge? Grudge?
Oh, it's Gudge. Well, it's short for Gudgeon. What do you mean?
Is it your pet? Did you rescue it from an animal shelter? I don't know. Is it force bonded to you?
Well, those are 3 questions. But no, I found Gudge a little while after I first left my home planet. He'd been hit by a speeder, and so I took him home with me and healed him up a little bit. I think he kind of messed up his ability to fly long distances because he stays by me all the time and doesn't go very far now. And I tried to get him to scout for me once, and he just kind of flopped over when he tried to actively fly. So, I don't know if his species is supposed to fly or not, but he just kind of glides. And yeah. Definitely not force bonded. I don't think I have that sort of skill.
Did you get a good look at that speeder? Or the driver?
It was yellow?
Yellow, okay.
But that's all I remember.
Yellow.
This was a long time ago. I don't think you're going to figure it out now.
You never know.
If that's what you mean.
You never know what you might need to know.
I mean, speeders hit animals all the time. Gudge was just lucky.
Lucky because he got hit by a speeder? Doesn't
Lucky
seem
because
lucky.
he didn't die instantly.
Very well. Close his notebook. Walk away.
Careful, there's a cliff.
Walks a different way.
All right, I'm going to start this off in the semi-evil fashion that I can, and I will. To start off with, I am wanting to get an individual perception check off of each of you.
Okay, what's our difficulty?
There was that weird thing I have where you all...
You have heightened awareness.
Right.
Oh, and I guess
So everyone else is better at perception when they're near me.
and is this perception or could vigilance apply?
Vigilance could work, yes.
Okay, I'm gonna happily use vigilance instead.
Heck no.
And is there anything dampening force abilities such that uncanny senses would not also trigger?
No, uncanny senses would trigger.
So what was our difficulty on it again?
That is going up against 3 red.
Well, I certainly...
Starting off big.
I'm sorry, did you say 3 red?
Yes.
Wow. So much for finally getting to use one of the few skills I'm good at.
Nuts. I guess it could be worse, but still.
Oh yeah, I got the worst.
I mean, it could also be worse than your roll.
I don't think you got the worst. There's only one.
Why do you tempt fate?
Because I'm coming up.
Oh, wait, whoops.
I was so hopeful too, vigilance. You really let me down.
Sorry, I need to math this out because I typed V instead of Y. Ugh.
Oh, so that advantage isn't there either then?
Yeah.
Well, so I got a failure. So the failure cancels with the
Yeah.
triumph. So I have a non-successful triumph?
And a,
Mhm.
and a
Yes.
threat, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't... Really?
Do you...
Yeah.
So you said the V was an accident, right? Because the V gave you an
Yeah.
automatic advantage.
Oh, whoops. Sorry.
No worries.
Okay. So I have a threat and a unsuccessful triumph.
I managed a failure, 3 advantages, and a despair.
I've just got 2 advantages, so I fail, but it's, it's whatever, dude.
Oof.
Yep. I'm taking a bath. It's a flat wash.
I mean, other than Cash, everyone did a lot better than I was figuring. Like
I did better than I expected.
very
I don't
perceptive
know about
group.
you.
I mean,
Leslie, you also should be rolling an extra boost.
Yeah,
for
there
being
is that.
near me.
so
Now, is that just
Uh,
perception, or does that apply to vigilance as well?
Both.
Oh, then I should have had another boost.
all
Oh,
right.
it really wants you to have nothing.
Okay,
Ooh.
that at least that bumps me up to 4 advantages and removes the failure. I still don't succeed, but
Yeah.
now 4 advantages and a despair.
So
All right.
I had a flat wash, but I was told I had a boost, so I rolled a boost. Now I have a flat wash.
Christine stole the really good boost die from you.
I didn't steal it. It came to me. It's mine. I earned it.
Her
Doesn't really
own,
help
her
me much,
precious.
but
All y'all are startled by this large, and now it is a somewhat. No, it's large. It is ginormous. 4-eyed, tusked, 6-armed, 6-limbed.
It's so cute.
It jumps down, and it's the size of a land speeder.
I'm sorry, is that a fuzzy scorpion beast?
Beg your pardon?
Is that a fuzzy scorpion beast, or is that a leg in the back?
That's a leg in the back.
And hands.
Okay, so first we need to break his glasses. So then we can take his
Everything
lunch
on
money.
this planet is 4-eyed.
Oh,
The
man.
Sathari, this, something else like you haven't met yet.
So much lunch money we can take.
Sathari are 4-eyed? I didn't know that. That's awesome. So back to the 4-eyed, terrifying howler squirrel.
Okay, that's actually a pretty good description. This thing drops down and roars at all y'all. And I do want to get initiative from the four of you.
Is this also vigilance?
Considering everyone failed? Yes. In fact, everyone's actually rolling it as an easy.
Okay, I have a really stupid question.
So add a purple to your vigilance check.
What are we rolling for? Initiative.
Initiative.
I was stuck on the word inception. I'm sorry.
Really? Really vigilance? D1, what are you doing to me, buddy?
Stop talking to D1. That doesn't help.
Yeah, you're just playing a
Thank you so much,
D1's
droid.
servos. D1 just
what am I
wants
doing?
attention.
Look, I have 2 jobs in this crew. Vigilance and to be grumpy, D1. You're taking away one of my jobs. I guess you're enhancing the other one, though, so there's that.
Yay! Skip.
Second triumph for Ren in short order.
Consecutively.
Nicely done.
Actually, we haven't even dealt with the first one, to be
That's
honest.
true. Or the despair.
If you get 3 triumphs in a row,
we know exactly what the despair is.
go to jail.
Oh.
Giant bear sloth is going to attack you.
Bear
Okay.
sloth. Okay. Bear sloth.
Yeah,
Power
like koala.
squirrel.
It's like a drop bear.
That is not a koala.
I did in a Clone Wars game I
That's
ran ages and ages and ages ago. Everybody was Padawans, but they were schlepping around some clone troopers, and I used one of these things to attack them, and because I just rolled some kind of gross number of triumphs on the first attack it ever made, it just bit the clone commander's head off, basically, and that was just that.
Well, that is rather terminal.
So yeah, be careful. They do indeed hit pretty hard.
Oh, it's a good thing none of us are wearing sunglasses.
Hillary does get an innate bonus for attacking this.
Oh yeah, how big is it? You said ginormous.
Like, I'm not joking, it is silhouette 2. Therefore,
so
triggering...
bust-sized?
It is 2 silhouette sizes different from Hillary. Therefore, it is harder for it to hit Hillary, and it is easier for Hillary to hit. And also, our initiative is 3 PCs, the bear sloth, and a PC at the end.
I feel like Skip would like to go first because Skip has tranquilizers and Skip doesn't want to kill wildlife. Skip would just like to knock it out so they can get out of there. If that's okay.
Legit.
Fine by me.
Go for it.
Also, the triumph on the initiative gives a free maneuver, right?
Yep.
That happens before.
It does.
Nice. I did
Yeah,
not know
that's what
that.
triumph on initiative does. You get a maneuver that occurs before any turns are taken.
Oh, I thought that was a skill, talent thing.
There are other things that allow you to do triumphs on initiative stuff, but the innate one is you get a free maneuver before anything happens.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, like drawing weapons or whatnot.
Yeah, so yeah, drawing, because the weapon would have been strapped
Yep.
to Skip's back, so yeah, that makes sense. Skip will draw the tranquilizer air rifle and say, all right, we don't want to kill it, just knock it out. And so that's that maneuver. This may take me a second because obviously I've never used this weapon before.
Yep.
So
First time with a weapon.
all right.
Absolutely.
So I've got yellow, yellow, green. What is my difficulty to shoot?
Let's see. I'm figuring that this dropped down
fella.
at short range to everyone. So
Mhm.
it is going to be well, it does have adversary 1, so it'll be 1 red. A singular red.
Okay. If I succeed, I need to figure out how I deal with tranquilizer instead of...
Are you using smart trank or are you just using the normal damage?
Okay, so I got 2 successes, which, to my understanding, means that I was successful.
Yep.
So the target needs to make an average resilience check, and upon failure, target suffers 5 strain plus 2 strain per disadvantageous result.
I think that's in addition to the normal damage.
That's an addition.
I believe so.
Okay.
Do we want to flip one of those 2 light sides that we have versus our 3 dark sides to maybe make it harder to succeed?
Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, I like that. All right.
All right. So that was a hard.
Yes. So at this point, I believe that I have it's 7 damage with Pierce 4 and the stun quality. If I've read all of this right.
All right. So
I love the motivation, but this is confusing.
I know. I'm sorry. You can blame Brandon. Brandon picked out my
Well,
weapon.
so here's the
Legit.
thing.
Jeez,
I blame
thanks,
Brandon.
Brandon.
If you aren't using Smart Trank, which is an extra expense, but it sounds like you've made it, it's just a weapon that works the way everything else does, except it just always does stun damage. You can't hit things lethal with it. That's what stun means.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Smart Trank is what requires the additional resilience check, but that's just an option. That's not a thing the gun always does.
Oh, okay.
And I've only got one, so this will only happen the one time for now.
I think the book reads that when you pay the 500 credits or whatever it is to have Smart Trank,
yeah, it just switches all of your
Yeah.
ammo for that clip.
Oh, cool.
We
just got it.
with the caveat that if the GM can spend it to spare, or maybe some amount of threat, I forget, to have your Smart Trank supply run out, at which point you would have to just use the weapon as normal, I think.
Or hit people with it like a club.
My justification was that I figured since this thing was really big to,
Yeah,
blow
no, totally.
Smart Trank, but
I mean,
Yeah.
again, it's not this system very
Oh.
seldom cares about ammo.
Dadgum.
wowie.
For its resilience check, it failed and got 2 advantage.
Oof.
So
Okay,
that would
so
be
I believe this means so my base was 7 stun, and upon failure, 5 strain damage.
Yep.
I don't know if it's more per more failures.
usually
doesn't
not
say.
more failures. It sounded like
Okay.
more threat was more damage.
More disadvantage was plus 2 strain per disadvantage.
Yeah.
Disadvantage result.
Which would be a threat,
Yes,
right?
threat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Terminology.
Just got to use my drop bear. I'm just really happy.
I mean, it's a cool animal. I don't like it.
All right. So yeah, it now seems to be a bit on the woozy side
Yay.
because that did do a fair amount to it.
Yeah, I have Pierce 4, so
No, I've got it. It is definitely woozy, just sort of looking around like, what hit? And it's still focused in on cash.
all right. Well, that's my turn.
All right, so we have a PC.
Yay!
Anybody else have a compelling
Uh,
action?
I feel like you might be the next person.
Sure.
I mean, running up and smacking it with a giant stick also works, but yeah.
Well, but then I have to aim my
A giant evil
vibro
stick.
rings around people.
Good
Exactly. So I'm gonna not run into melee just yet. I'll let Brandon do his thing.
Okay. Koba will take out one of his vibro rings, so maneuver to grab a vibro ring, and we will throw it. You said we're at short range?
Yeah, you're at short range. It has 1 defense, which, as
Okay.
I say, I forgot last time, and it is adversary 1, so
Alright. 1 yellow, 2 green versus a red because it's short range, but adversary 1 and a setback for the defense.
Yep.
Need to generate advantage to be able to get my. I may actually have to check. I forget if it's 1 advantage or 2. I think it's 2, but I could be wrong. Anyhow, we'll deal with that in a moment. So Koba throws a vibro ring, and it spins in a really cool way and doesn't hit a dang thing. Just like zips over the bear sloth's head, spinning off into the underbrush. I have an advantage, which I am not. I need to double check if that's enough to get that it come back to me. I don't think it is, but I miss.
So, we have 1 player next.
Leslie, do you have anything, or should I?
Nothing that will make Cash happy.
Okay. So, quick question, Ben, because we
Yep.
didn't actually discuss this. So we figured out like what the stats, like default stats were.
Yep.
With some ideas of what it might become. However, one thing that is missing Should the staff have defensive 1, like my cane or like the thing it will eventually become, or does it not have defensive yet?
I'm figuring, sure, let's have it have defensive.
Okay, cool. Just want to know for its inevitable action.
I mean, fair.
So Cash is going to take this the staff in both hands and is going to move to engage this terrible idea with this creature and is going to try to whack it, I guess, upside the head with the stick to try to persuade it to leave. This is a lethal attack because I don't have any talents to let me make this non-lethal.
So you're moving into there, so that is going to be a
red and a purple.
Natively, it'd be 1 red, 1 purple, 1 setback.
Like I said, terrible idea. All right, versus 3 green, because Cash doesn't realize she no longer has skills in combat.
Nice.
Okay, so I managed my second consecutive despair. I guess not consecutive, because I had the initiative in between. There you go.
Yeah.
But there will be 2 successes, a threat, and a despair. So that'll be 8 damage coming in at this guy. And then you have a threat and a despair to spend against me.
Well, the threat I'm going with, Kesh is somewhat out of shape and is winded from it, taking a strain.
That's fair. These old bones.
Exactly.
And the despair.
I am thinking that it is going to use your attack in its attack. So it's dealt with other hunters or whatnot before, so what it is doing is it is going to take its claws and fangs and attempt to swipe at you.
Okay. Well, good news is I have 1 point of defense, courtesy of the stick.
All right.
Yay, stick. Team not so evil stick.
1 setback from that.
That's all right. My buddy Hillary will piece me back together, right?
If there's anything left.
Sure, it's not.
How dramatic would that be? Like 5 sessions in, it's like, well, Christine, you're going to have to make a new character.
Mm-hmm.
Not a new character, just a new... Never mind.
Oh, my... So starting early, D1. Actually, you know what it is? We're in the wilderness.
Yep.
Yep.
Never goes well for us.
I hit with 4 success, 1 threat, and 1 triumph. And I am now flipping a Dark Destiny point.
Oh no. What have I done?
You feel the bearslaw's teeth sink into your skin. You can feel a substance in its saliva coat the wound, as it then, after it's bitten you and swiped at you with its claws, because you're like right at this cliff face, or like short range from the cliff face, it then uses the triumph to beetle over the cliff face and uses its maneuver to start heading down.
Like
Okay.
it's running away or with Kesh in its mouth?
It's running away. It bit, and it has used its envenomed bite on Kesh, and then it is now running away because, like, between the trank dart and Kesh smacking it on the schnoz, that did like 3/4 of its health, and like
But that's legit. I will say the one threat is I'll do essentially the equivalent of like a strain, as did chip a tooth on my cybernetic arm.
fair.
How much damage has that been?
That is a total of 10.
Okay.
6
I've
raw
had
plus the 4 successes, yeah.
And the venom?
And now for the venom. It requires a daunting resilience check.
Gross.
Okay. 3 green, 4 purple. No successes with 2 threat.
All right. So this is a semi-funky venom, and the reason why I was mildly annoyed it was an adversary card, because it just said refer to this page. This now actually gives you a critical injury.
Okay.
Ooh.
which is a wrecking venom, spelled with a W. Whenever this character would otherwise suffer one or more wounds or one or more strain, this character suffers that number of wounds or strain plus 2 instead.
Ow. Okay.
What level of critical wound is
It is
this?
a hard check.
Oh. Okay. So Cash has a couple nasty scrapes on across her scales at this point. She is bleeding a bit, but doesn't look like she's about to drop or anything like that. I don't think she's quite fully aware of the effects of the venom just yet, but I'm sure that'll change shortly.
Okay, sure, it feels like something bitter, but also it's definitely sort of radiating more than the average amount of pain. I'm just sort of figuring scorekeeper and all that.
Yeah.
And yeah, not taking into account that critical because this happened from that roll, I do want to also do 2 strain.
Okay.
So just 2 strain, not
with the added, yeah. So Cash leans on her staff now that the creature has run away. She'll look back towards her companions. Well, nothing like a little excitement to get the old blood flowing.
The blood looks pretty fresh to me, if I'm completely honest. Let's keep moving somewhere I could maybe help you a little bit. Ease the general oozing you've got going on.
I'm really glad we didn't kill it. It was very cute. I know it bit you. Should I not have said that?
No, that's fine. You can call it cute. I would still have rather have killed it, and then we would have had more provisions. But we're not here to hunt.
No, we're here to get somewhere, and I dare say we should be moving now. Let's go. Kind of pushes Cash a little from the back, and then is walking alongside to kind of lend. Normally it would be like a shoulder, but he's little, so it's kind of like he's there in case she needs to use his head to lean on.
She swats at you a little bit, but it's not in any hard fashion. It's more of and you've dealt with this with her before. She gets defensive on this sort of thing. It's sort of like a shoo, but doesn't do it again when you continue to hover.
Yeah, Skip will jump out of the tree that they had scrambled up into and follow along.
I've got to go find my Vibrang.
Oh, no.
Okay, if it didn't return, I'm figuring for the advantage, it's laying somewhere shining, glinting.
Okay. Yeah, I can get it to return if I have 2 advantage on a check that misses, but I only had 1, so...
okay.
And it does not return, as far as I can tell, on a check that hits, because I assume it gets stuck. Also, Ren, your question in the chat, running out of ammo is just by default a thing that the GM can do with Despair.
Okay.
And that weapon does not have any special additional rules about ammo. It's not a limited ammo weapon or anything. It's just...
like the revolver.
Yeah.
Okay. I was trying to read, but I was not finding the right... That's why I asked it in the thing, because I didn't think it needed to be...
It doesn't restate that rule, because that's just a blanket rule for any weapon that theoretically has ammo, like blasters and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Your average blaster rifle probably has several hundred shots in a single blaster pack, so no one's gonna count them.
I spent a whole season punching things.
Yeah.
I never needed to look at the gun stuff.
It all comes down to one of the versions out there, we actually had to count the 50 blaster shots in a blaster power pack. It was annoying.
It was a pain.
So counting
All right.
arrows is annoying. Now, onward to a average survival check, please.
Yes.
Group or individual?
Group.
Then I
Right,
guess
back to the
it's-
Koba skip show.
Koba skip show. Do you want to roll this? Because you sure have been rolling it better than I have, Ren.
You said it was average.
Yes.
I've got yellow green. I'm not the most cunning
Right, but
a creature.
I'll assist
in
you,
this
you're
so you
game.
use my cunning in your skill ranks.
Okay.
Group cunning.
What was your cunning again?
4.
Okay. Perfect. Wow. I only got 2 advantage.
It's okay, it's Brandon's fault.
Yep, clearly.
Great.
This is going to work. So, as you're tracking, the forest seems to be a lot more dense than you had initially thought. Like, yeah, you've sat down relatively close, but you haven't made it to Quelus yet. It's starting to get dark out. Like, dark. Do you want to try and make camp, or do you want to try and press on to Quelus?
Yeah, I think Skip would probably, if Skip is sort of the one like leading this charge through the woods, would probably turn to Hillary.
Okay.
Do you want to keep going? Are you all right with walking at night, or do you think that Kesh needs sleep because she's old? And that was kind of like a lean down and sort of whisper at Hillary.
What I'm loving is the fact that Kesh is older, yes, but Hillary's still at least probably twice your age.
Yeah, but Skip has no way, no concept of that, so.
I was about to say, dinosaurs age more gracefully, I guess.
Yeah, the difference is Kesh is old enough to actually still look the part, whereas Hillary, maybe not so much.
Hillary is very sprightly, so I feel like Skip thinks that Hillary's more like their age. Like, clearly a little bit older, because Hillary's clearly very dignified, but not like on a cane old, ancient, just like about to keel over like Kesh, right? Am I right? Like, Skip's head. Skip's.
Yeah.
Does Kesh actually say anything to this comment, or does Kesh just kind of side-eye?
I'm going to say for the purposes of this, she hasn't taken notice. I think she's been more focused on moving forward and such. Besides, I would like to let's continue building up Skip's impression of her, and then we'll see where things go.
I'll say at this point we've been moving enough that Hillary is trusting Kesh with her new stick, and he kind of looks up at Skip and says, "Well, I would say that rest would be a very good idea, but I bet I know the answer when I say, 'Hey, Kesh, how are you doing?'"
I'm fine.
Yes. Would anyone else be adverse to maybe stopping a spell so that I can rest? I know I don't look the part, but I'm not made for the outdoors, per se. I'm rather weary. He kind of winks up at Skip.
Yeah.
Kesh
Hillary's really
rolls her
small,
eyes.
and so it takes Hillary just like a lot longer to walk at the same length as us. So it's like double the effort, really. So yeah.
Koba is going to get within engaged range of Kesh and try to sense Kesh's current emotional state.
Gosh, you're nosy.
I bought the sense power.
Yeah, go and give a force roll. Let's do this, Brandon.
Oh, hey, two light side. Me being nosy is clearly on the side of good. So earlier I did the version of, or the part of senses based power that lets me sense all living things within short range. The other thing you can do at base is spend a point, of which I have two, to sense the current emotional state of one living thing with whom I am engaged. So Christine, what is Kesh's current emotional state?
Okay, in spite of the fact that Kesh is acting irritated at this, rolling her eyes and all that stuff, what she's feeling is gratitude.
Okay. I have to agree, this is probably a good place for us to stop.
Right, because you're small too.
Are Doug's silhouette 0?
They are not
1?
silhouette 0, but they are small for one. Like they're
Okay,
Yeah.
so they're kind of like Bothans. They're on the slider side.
yeah. Bothans no
knows
longer
what a
look like
Bothan
anything in
looks like.
particular.
Shots fired, Kev.
You know, a Doug is probably give or take the size of a, let's say, a 9-year-old boy. From what we've seen.
Well, but which is bigger than, the size of Hillary, who's like a toddler.
Yes. So they're at the I would say the very low end of Silhouette 1.
The 4 of you are making camp out in the middle of the woods. There are noises off in the distance. Are you making a fire?
How cold is it?
Once the sun went down, from what you can tell, and it started getting dark, it actually started getting kind of cold.
In that case, Kesh would see about putting together some kind of little fire. She doesn't want to make anything too big to like try to something that would attract a predator. But if she can make something to help her stay warm, being a lizard and all, she would appreciate that.
As the 4 of you are relaxing, maybe if Hillary's wanting to do any medicine, this would kind of be the time.
Kesh gripes at you as you start to tend to her. Just, it's not that bad. I've had much, much worse.
Kesh, stop that. Your wounds have what I would call a sheen. That's not a good thing.
Well, you're the dad.
He does that kind of head bob like, yeah.
So the base difficulty for wounds is just 1 purple, but of course then there's the venom, which is the hard check that she's not even aware of yet.
Yeah.
That sounds like Hillary might be.
Well, yeah, I'm picturing kind of that weird, multicolored, oily, slick kind of look.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So I would like to start by cleaning the wounds, which I would say would be the healing the critical.
This time I'm sort of figuring that the venom would have soaked into the bloodstream because it hasn't been cleaned that quickly.
No, she wouldn't stop until now, so I've still got to try. I've got some antiseptic.
I mean, obstinacy is my emotional weakness.
There is that.
Hillary's going to make you lie down because, he's short and needs access. But he'll put his satchel under your head. And I was picturing that you're kind of bitten across the shoulder and upper chest. Like
that sounds about right.
Straight for the body kind of shot. And so it's one of those kind of peel back the clothing and armor or whatever you've got and kind of...
Just thick clothes and like robes and like a shawl, that kind of thing right now. And no armor right now. And
it's got that hydrogen peroxide fizz because I just always loved that effect.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And that, what's our dark side, light side?
It is 3 light, 2 dark.
Okay, because I am trained but not confident. I am trained but not confident. Hillary is fine. He's got a med kit. Which means I can do it in the first place or that I get a boost.
Now removes the penalties for not having the proper tools and actually does give you a boost because it's a proper med kit. Also gives you like 1 stim pack per encounter.
Yep, which is super valuable. Since we currently don't have any.
Stack if I don't use them?
I don't think so.
It just breeds stim packs.
Kinda, yeah.
Okay.
Until like despairs happen or something.
We've only seen a couple of those. So.
Hey, I'm not upgrading this one.
Destiny. And a boost, right?
Yep.
Well, my strain is gone.
Rude gestures at the screen. So that's 2 yellows, a green, a boost, and 3 purple. The boost showed up with advantage. So that's a fail and 4 advantage.
Yeah, so I'm guessing there's not too much you can do besides, like, you can still like clean up the wound, wrap it up, but it's still done its damage to her at this point.
Yeah, I get you cleaned up, and can I just do a subsequent check to do the wounds next, or do I need to wait?
This I'm figuring is going to take a little bit of time, like 30, 40 minutes. And in that time, I'm not even going to have a check for this. I'm just sort of figuring everyone's more focused on what Hillary's doing, so they may not quite catch what's happening before things actually happen. And what I mean by that is, all of a sudden, a wild caravan appears.
Like a Dodge?
I was thinking exactly that, and I was like,
Okay, fair.
would anybody get this joke? Turns out the answer is yes.
In this case, there are a group of 12 Sathri travelers moving in the opposite direction, like of the way that you had been traveling. And they have 4 Travixes loaded with supplies. These are, I don't know, like they're hamsters gone super huge.
But they're like weird bird. No, it does have 4 legs.
Yeah, it's got 4 legs and it's got 4 eyes.
You need glasses to see.
I'm just going on like giant space hamsters.
But drawl are giant space hamsters.
Which means we just need to miniaturize them and then get one to a giant
feral
barbarian.
pack hamsters.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who was thinking in that
Yes.
direction.
Okay, now a Trovix.
Ooh, it's amazing.
Travix?
Tarvix?
And you said they're headed the opposite way?
Yes, this caravan, one might even say a family of merchants, moving in the opposite direction of the way you had been going. As they come up to near your fire, not breaking the perimeter of what your campsite is, one who had been on the Travix then spreads her arms and just sort of glides over to the edge of the log that is close to, I'm going with Skip. Oh, yes.
Hi there.
Hello, fair travelers. It is wonderful to see more people out in the wonderful forests of Arbuin. Now, what brings you to the middle of the great forest? I am Kirill Gelaro, and this here is my family.
Skip is very preoccupied with how cute these things are. So just ignore the what are you up to question, because answering that would only go poorly for anyone anyway. And goes up. Can I pet him?
The terrifying feral hamster mounts are what you're calling cute.
Yes?
Just checking.
You mean our Travix? Yes, they are tame. Don't get too close to the mouse. They can get a little bit nippy, especially with new
All right,
people.
yeah. So Skip's gonna go play with those things and leave the talking to Hillary. Because that's the better idea.
Like, true, but yeah.
Skip's gonna look up watching Skip.
That's me.
You are Skip. Hillary's gonna look up watching Skip go talk to the... I'm gonna be honest, Hillary's probably thoroughly disconcerted by these things, because if they're large enough to carry a silhouette 1 creature...
Yeah, they're silhouette too.
Yeah, no, that's... Hillary is not silhouette 2. Or even 1, so Hillary's going to shift around to the other side of Kesh, still staying with her, but where he can kind of see what's happening. And he says, "Good evening. Would you, by any chance, have some advice? Our friend was attacked by, I'm not sure what. It was large and scuttly and..."
Oh, you mean a bear sloth? Yes, I believe we might still have some of the anti-venom.
His eyes go wide at the word venom. Like, I knew that was bad road.
I believe we... gives out a few clicks and whistles, raising one of their arms up and motioning a younger Sathari over. And they come over with what looks to be like a small cabinet of medicines. You can see numbers on each of the different things. Yes, And here, as they root around, and then out of one of the drawers that has a line on it saying 100 credits, they pull out a vial and hand it over to you. Yes. Your friend there does look to be very weakened.
I'm fine.
Give me just one really quick second, because I don't think I have 100 credits.
We don't have money.
I want to say speak for yourself, but I'm not playing Billy anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So the Gear Monies tab says I have 25. And so...
Did y'all even get your walking around money?
Oh yeah, we always forget to do that.
Oh, I was gonna say, if you ask Skip, then I have enough to help you out.
How do you get walking around money?
Roll a D100.
Technically at the end of character creation.
But you haven't done anything that would spend money until now.
Walking around money. Plus 67. Okay, Hillary looks at it and looks at Kesh and says, good evening. My name is Hillary Aloric of the Flying Alorics. Perhaps you've heard of us. This is my friend Kesh, who has been sorely wounded and will stay where she is.
Inconvenience.
Shh. This is my friend Koba, and the one petting your wee space mount of fuzziness is Skip.
Perfect.
Hi.
I have, if you give me just a moment, digging, he pulls out a 50 cred chit and then two 10s, 3 10s, and he kind of holds them out. I don't really have everything, but if there's anything, would you perhaps want to sit with us a spell? I've a little bit of credits. I could maybe tell you a story if you want to rest with us a bit.
Oh, yes. If you're willing, we would love to spend the night here. It would be wonderful to get to know new people to Arbuin. It's so rare that we see people, even though we are traveling constantly between the different cities. We don't normally meet many who aren't in Sathari.
Well,
And traders such as ourselves would love to hear new tales.
by all means, gather yourselves, and I don't know what Koba's up to, but Hillary will kind of motion to him, like if we have another log to throw on the fire to make it a little bigger.
He tosses a log on the fire.
If you wouldn't mind, actually, while I am doing this, if my friend Koba here, Koba has an amazing backlog of very interesting stories about these investigations. There's one with a gank assassin that you might be interested in. I'm going to attend to my friend Kesh here.
Oh, yes, please. And sits down and is just like wide-eyed, as cheery as possibly can be. And he motions for the family to start getting like the sleeping rolls out and that sort of stuff, setting up the Trevixes in a semi-defensible position so that they aren't ambushed by things like bear sloths and whatnot.
If they start moving their mounts around, then Skip will stop bothering them and then go and kind of sit near the one that's done all the talking, just kind of sit near and is definitely kind of like staring at them.
Yeah.
Like they're just really interested in what they have to say, even though they're clearly interested in what Koba has to say. But
What was the leader's name?
Kirill.
And did the leader say the name of the one they asked to help me?
No,
Okay.
they did not. Oh, yes. It is so wonderful to see those around. It is rare that we see anyone coming around to these parts that are without means. It is refreshing, one might say. Now, might I be so bold as to ask what your destination is?
Who's he asking specifically?
I'm figuring Koba would be the one who would actually be... It would be Koba and Skip that he'd be asking, because Hillary and Kesh are off healing-ish.
We're headed towards Quolis. We have, business.
Oh, Qualos. Yes, well, if you follow this tree line down, and then there's a river that you do have to cross, but there's a very sturdy trunk that you can cross it on. We were able to get our Trevixes across without even any issue. Very shortly after that, you will get to the base of it. It's a good quarter day's walk, but I'm certain that you'd be able to find it no problem.
Yeah, sounds like we could manage that.
But I must caution you, there is the reeve of Qualas is a bit what might be the... He's cruel. I don't know other way of putting it, other than the reeve there is cruel, and you must watch yourselves, lest you catch their eye in a bad fashion.
Sorry for my
Are you saying Reeve?
Reeve.
ignorance, but it's my first time on the planet. What is a reeve? Is it some kind of governmental office or something?
Yes, you could say that. They're the leader of that city. I believe we had heard the term mayor thrown around by some other travelers several years ago. But yes, Reeve is what we call our town and city leaders.
Anywhere in the galaxy, you turn over a rock and you can find government corruption.
I don't quite know that
I wasn't really
corrupt.
talking to you. I was just kind of saying it.
I was narrating.
He does that. You get used to it after a while.
Oh, you are one of those. Well, if you do make it there, and you are needing to find a place to stay, there's a farm there of a Jill Corliss, and you might be able to get some space there. I'm fairly certain that Jill will rent out for work done, and they stay rather uninvolved in the different conflicts that arise between the Tumris and the Hellshah.
That's still a thing, huh?
Clans, unless they are completely wiped out, will always be a thing. Clans are what we are part of. I mean, we here as Jarlos, we are our own clan of traveling traders. Family is family, and how can we not stand by family?
We'll look up this Jill you mentioned. Thank you for the lead.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, by all means, yes.
Do you ever lose your feathers, and if you do you sell them?
No, we don't normally sell them. They are mostly just disposed of.
Oh well.
Why do you ask?
They're very pretty.
Oh.
And I know that birds lose feathers all the time, you know? So, I mean, not that you're a bird. I mean, you're well, I'm gonna go see how Kesh is doing.
And Hillary's over there, just hand on face.
Skip's gonna go over to Hillary.
Smooth, Skip. Very well done.
Speaking of Hillary.
All right, am I making another roll? Or how's this going to work?
I don't know, do you feel like you need to make a roll to convince Kesh to drink it?
No, because I think she's used to me badgering her enough, and this is a simple enough thing to acquiesce to. Christine, correct me if I'm wrong.
No. Kesh is stubborn. She's not completely unreasonable.
I think we should still stab Kesh with one of Skip's trank darts.
No one asked you,
What's your-
Koba.
What's your
That is still
resilience?
stabbing helpfully, right?
As we determined earlier with the venom, not good enough. So Kesh will sit back up and take this this thing in hand. How does it smell?
Smells a little bit acidic, but also with a underlying of oil to it. That if you were to accidentally drop it on something or accidentally drip it on something, it'll change color of whatever the heck it dropped on.
She looks at Hillary, who's like nudging her on, and she goes ahead and tips it back and tries to swallow it as quickly as possible.
Yeah, Hillary's doing that thing where he's looking at you, and if you hesitate, he kind of looks at you more intently.
Kind of.
So you knock it back.
Yep.
Good job, friend.
That stuff tastes awful.
That would be medicine. That's usually rather awful. Even when they try to cover up with, like, cherries and pears and other things.
Ugh.
Ah, well, I suppose that you're not a fruit-eating type, then.
Not so much.
That's okay. While I must admit, I don't think that we'll need to stab you with a tranquilizer. Are you willing to rest some?
Yes, Hillary, I'm willing to rest some for your sake.
You do my tiny heart proud. And he digs around in his pack, and I don't know why. If this is too much, just call shenanigans on it. But I feel like I don't know why this is going to be a thing. Hillary has a little espresso type pot, one of those little kind of hourglass shaped metal ones.
Oh, like the little French presses.
Well, not like the. I'll have to find the picture of the one I'm thinking of, but just something that he can kind of set on a rock in the fire to make some. Some calf.
I know. Like it's a camping calf maker.
Yeah, and he's got like, instead of because he can't have all of the beans that he would like, but he's got little pressed packets that he can put in. It's a far cry from the good stuff, but it scratches that itch. So yes, I think you are correct. I think it's the Italian style. But he'll head over to the fire and do any of you like calf?
Are you asking our group or?
No, he would know our group. He's asking the birds.
Okay.
Thank you very much for the offer, though we do find that calf, as you call it, does not react well with our metabolism.
Oh, forgive the impertinence. I was clearly unaware.
Of course. No ill will ever thought. No, it most certainly is a welcome gesture, just one that we are unable to accept. Thank you very much for making the offer.
You don't want to hear the Gank Assassin story. It's not really all that interesting in the middle act. But let's see. How about this one? It's a case I worked a number of years ago. It all began out of Marina on Dantooine.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Heroes of the Hydian Way. You can find show updates on Twitter at The Hydian Way, and you can find me, Ben, on Twitter at
I'm Red.
Deuterium
You can
Ice.
find me at Atomic Firebird on Twitter, or also you can find me talking about my various streams and stuff over at make_believe_RP.
_awesome.
I wish I didn't have to use the underscores.
And you can find me, Christine, on Twitter at 12th Night. That's 12th and Night with a K. I also have 2 D&D 5e actual play podcasts. The Glass Dagger can be found at completenight.com. Also Night with a K. And Omen's Call can be found at omenscall.com, not with a K.
I'm Leslie at LesletGS, shilling for my family here. Still zero, flight risk, and because I love them, force majeure. I've guested.
And I'm Brandon. I'm at Blue of the Kin on Twitter, and I have a Star Trek Adventures show called Endeavor Through the Maelstrom, which you can find out more about on Twitter at Endeavor Show, ENDEAVOUR.
Are you the only person in that show?
Yeah, it's just
Or
me. I do
somebody
all the
else
voices.
here?
Oh, wow. I
guess
oh.
Christine's
it's funny.
there too.
I thought I was on a similar sounding show.
Slacking.
Yeah, I see how it is.
And you can find that show wherever fine podcasts are downloaded.
We are all at theheidiandway.com, where you can find previous episodes.
You can find more episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. Plus, you can help us out by rating, reviewing, and subscribing.
We're also on Facebook as Heroes of the Heidian Way. You can holocom us at heroes@theheidianway.com.
If you like what we do and would like to support the show, you can find us over at patreon.com/theheidianway.
Or you can toss a cred to your podcaster at ko-fi.com/theheidianway.
Words are hard.
Did he?
And to cover
Oh,
the
dear.
conflict that we have, I'll just... Currently I've got a running total of Cash with 1 and
Yep.
Koba with 1
my
due to dark side
Yep,
points.
that is what my notes say. What's our XP?
Woo.
The X... Give me a quick sec. Huh.
That was worrying. By the way, I spelled conflict with a K. I think I need to go to bed.
Look,
it's
just everything's with a K now.
we're
It's my
just in a
It's
fault.
Mortal
Christine's
Kombat
brand.
game.
I do completely, like,
Oh.
not on purpose. I do have a lot of characters whose names begin with a K.
Bum, bum, bum,
Whatever,
bum,
Cav.
bum, 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 bum.
Okay, it's 15 on the night.
Right.
Okay, I say that and then the lightning crashes. That was kind of funny.
We're about to be eaten by a train snake, right?
No, wrong planet. We're about to be eaten by something that sounds remarkably like a train
Okay,
snake.
but here's the thing: train
A
snakes.
motorcycle snake.
Train snakes can travel through hyperspace.
Crap.
They're not Purgles.
Right, the train snakes. More than one thing can do that. Yeah. So the earlier I did the part of the base sense power that let me sense living things. Whoops.
Ooh, whoa.
And ideally not
Everybody okay?
knock my microphone off the table. There we go. The senses base power that lets me sense all living things within short range. The other thing you can do at base is spend a point, of which I have 2, to sense the current emotional state of one living thing with whom I am engaged. So,
I didn't know you guys were.
I almost made that joke.
yeah.
That's why we're such a good team.
Just like high five, Leslie, through the internet, please. Thank you. Yes.
Enjoy our fire. We can. But Ren, these aren't tales of the Hiding Way. They're tales of the Diaphus Spur.
Fair enough.
Is that how we decided it was pronounced?
Something close to that, sure.
That. The diaspora spur, as my brain keeps trying to make it a thing. Sorry, he's asking. Yes. Sorry, Ren found the thing and posted it. Because Ren is
Well,
amazing.
that's what I had
and
meant to say.
understands
Not,
my gibberish.
Not French Italian.
Yeah.
Europe. I don't know.
But yeah, it's a little quasi hourglass metal calf pot. But yeah, he would look and ask, "Do any of them like calf?"
How about this one? It's a case I worked a number of years ago. It all began at a marina on Dantooine. The waves, something metaphor, noir, saxophone.
And campfire sparks. Twinkling into the stars.